What's good, Commanders fans, and happy Friday. Hope everybody has a good weekend ahead of them. So we got a big game against the Eagles, man. 1-1. The Eagles look good. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're 2-0. They look good. They got their fans have 20 buses coming to FedEx Field. So unfortunately, it's not looking good in that way. But Commanders fans, we gotta stand up, man. We gotta stand up and cheer on our team. They might have to even have a silent count. Now, a lot of Eagles fans, they're gonna come. They're coming to the game, of course. They love coming to Landover. They want to heckle Carson Wentz. They want to boo Carson Wentz. There's some bad blood there. You know, this is part of Carson Wentz's revenge tour. We know Carson Wentz, ever since Jalen Hurts was drafted with that second round pick, it got to Carson Wentz. He wasn't happy about the pick, whatever he says. And then after it just went downhill. It went downhill. And Carson was a good quarterback for the Eagles. Let's not get it twisted. He was MVP candidate in 2017. 2019, he had a really good year, led them to the playoffs when they were 5-6. And then that showdown against Dallas on a Sunday afternoon game to win the NFC East, basically, Carson Wentz showed up big time in that game. And they were 4-1 to end that year. And he had a really good touchdown to interception ratio with barely any receivers, only tight ends to throw to, only running backs to throw to. The Eagles, they just didn't really draft well and surround Carson Wentz with a lot of offensive talent. They didn't draft well for the guy, and they drafted a guy potentially to be his replacement. So I can understand some of Carson's anger on that, and then the whole Nick Foles thing, the statue and the shrine of Nick Foles when Carson gets hurt. They win a Super Bowl, their only Super Bowl. And Philly fans, we know they don't know how to act. Eating horse dung when they finally won a Super Bowl, booing everything, booing Santa Claus. So jail under the cell at their own stadium. So, but this is a big game for Carson. It is. You know, he can downplay it all he wants, but I do want him to stay focused on the game and not focus on storylines. Stay focused on the game and not focus on storylines. Not focus on making the big play, but making the right play and taking what the defense gives you for sure. So let's get to the injury report here. On our side, we're pretty banged up. We just are. Defensive line, we just don't have a lot of depth at all. Casey Tuhill's out with a concussion. He did not participate. He's not going to be playing. Daniel Wise, our defensive tackle, we're already thin at that spot. The young man we just signed, the Vanilla Gorilla, I'm blanking on his name, the DT. I made a video about him. I can't remember his name right now. I'm blanking on his name. We played for Dallas, went to Arkansas, went to Eastern Illinois, transferred to Arkansas. We just signed him. He's a 5th-round pick. He's going to have to play and step up if he plays. David Mayo's questionable now with an ankle injury. James Smith-Williams, an abdomen injury, limited, questionable. John Allen's going to play. He was a full participant. Sadiq Charles is on the list, too, with a shoulder injury, limited. He's going to play. Cam Crow's going to play. That's big that we're getting him back. He's definitely going to be impactful. We need another safety out there. We need a guy with his caliber. Ridgeway is his name. John Ridgeway is his name. So Cam Crow, man, we need him. He's a playmaker. He's a guy that makes plays. Really good in the box. Can play that Buffalo nickel. Hybrid linebacker spot. Can cover a guy like Dallas Goedert. We're going to need Cam Crow. He's going to be big in this game for sure. Cole Holcomb on the injury list. Limited with a quad injury. He's going to play. Wes Schweitzer is going to play. He was on the list. Shaka Tony with the illness. He was a full participant on Friday. He's going to play. Trey Turner with the quad injury. He's going to play. Was a full participant on Friday. So we're pretty banged up there on that defensive line spot. We just are, especially with Chase Young being out. We just don't have depth. And some of that's on Ron. You know, I'm not going to talk about that too much. But he just didn't address defensive line depth at all this all season, other than Fedarian Mathis. And the Eagles list, man, all their guys are going to play, man. There's no need in really reading their list, man. They're pretty healthy, man. They're a healthy team. Landon Dickerson did not play with a foot injury. He's questionable. That's their guard. He's a solid guard. They got a darn good offensive line, man. I'm going to tip my cap to them. They are the dream team on paper. They just are. And I did pick them to win the division. They looked the part on Sunday night or on Monday night. They did. You know, Kirk Cousins is one of the worst quarterbacks in primetime football. So I kind of take that one with a grain of salt, but they did look good. They did. And the Vikings moved the football against the Eagles. They did. Kirk was turning the ball over in Eagles territory. Darius Slay got 2 picks. That one was in the end zone trying to get to Justin Jefferson. And then the other one was in their territory too when they ran over to James Harden. So both interceptions what's his name? Kirk threw 3 or 4 interceptions. I got to look that up. I think he threw like 3. But all 3 of them were in Eagles territory. So you can move the ball in this Eagles defense. The Lions were able to move the ball on them and run the football on them. You can move the ball in this Eagles defense. And this is why, you know, shout out to PrizePicks. They are sponsoring this video today. Make sure you guys go down to the link below. Use my promo code REALEDOliver. You get a 100% price match if you put $100. If you put $50, you get a $100 price match from PrizePicks as well. Promo code is RealEdOliver. You receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100. Same thing, $50. It's real easy, man. This is how it works. You pick 2 to 5 players. You do their over-unders. I make it easy for you guys every week. So the guys I picked this week, I'm going to pull out the picks that I have. Carson Wentz, his over-under is 240.5 passing yards. I took the over. He's going to get over that. He's gotten over 240 yards easily in both games. He's going to do it again on Sunday against the Eagles defense. Terry McLaurin, the Eagle killer. You know what he does to Darius Slade. You know what he does to James Bradbury. You know what he does to that Eagles defense. They have no answer for Terry McLaurin on that side of the football. They do have good corners. Don't get me wrong, but they can't check Terry. His over-under is 57.5 receiving yards. I have the over. His over-under for receptions is 4. He's going to easily beat that. He's going to have at least 5. I'm picking the over on that. Jahan Dotson, 38 receiving yards on Sunday. Easily taking the over on that. So definitely use the link down below my subscription. Subscribe or download the app, the PrizePicks app. First-time users, you put down my promo code RealEdOliver. You get a 100% deposit match if you put down $100. Same thing with $50. If you put down $50, PrizePicks will give you a $50 deposit match as well. So take those picks. Wentz, the over on 240 passing yards. Terry, 57 receiving yards. Take the over on all those. Last week, I got them right with the receivers. All 3 receivers hit the over against the Lions because we're going to throw the ball a lot again. We just are. That's what Scott Turner likes to do. And we're a passing offense. That's our identity. If we have an identity through 2 games, is that we like to spread the wealth through our 3. We have a big 3. I think we have a legitimate big 3, and Carson has a big arm, and he's a guy that can get those guys the football. And I think it's going to happen again on Sunday. So I would take the over on all those picks. So make sure you guys use that promo code RealEdOliver. All right, so keys to victory that I have here. Key matchups, of course, Terry versus Slay, Jahan versus Bradbury, Curtis versus Bradbury. They're just their DBs, and of course AJ Brown, man. AJ Brown, William Jackson, Kendall Fuller. This defense, man, it gives me no hope. I'm going to be honest here. Jack Del Rio, this could be his last game. I'm serious, man. If Jalen Hurts, I already said it, his kryptonite, Jack Del Rio's kryptonite is a mobile quarterback, which is what Jalen Hurts is. He's a guy that can run around, RPOs, design runs. He's a good quarterback. People say he can't throw the football. I think he's better than what people give him credit for. We haven't seen him really sit in the pocket much. We see the Tampa Bay game where he got exposed, where they got blown out. And they beat a lot of bad teams last year, kind of like we did in the 2020 season. But Jalen Hurts, he's a solid quarterback. He's a leader. He has the intangibles. He can make something happen when stuff's not there. And he did look good against the Vikings. He looks like he's improved through 2 games, and he's got better receivers now. A.J. Brown is a really good receiver. Devontae Smith is a really good receiver. Quez Watkins can run past you. And Zach Pascal is a good receiver. Dallas Goedert is a really good tight end, too, and have a really good offensive line. So this is a good team, man. This is a tough test for us coming out the gate in our third, not really coming out the gate, but our 3rd game. And I had a splitting with the Eagles in my preseason picks. But my keys to victory, I'll start off with these. We'll start off with offense first. So I want us to have a sense of urgency, man. Last week, even when we had things going for us, we didn't have a sense of urgency. We were just too laid back, too slow, methodical. Even when we were getting first downs, there was no huddle. I think we should have an up-tempo offense. Keep these guys on their heels. Get a guy like Jordan Davis tired. Keep him in there on 3rd down. He's a big guy that's a run stopper, but I want to see them keep Jordan Davis in there on 3rd downs. Get that guy tired. He's a big guy. Same thing with Fletcher Cox. And we got guys. We got the horses that can go. Jahan can go. Curtis Samuel can get chunk plays. Terry can get chunk plays. Logan Thomas can get chunk plays. Antonio Gibson can get chunk plays. Judah McKissick. We have weapons. We have legitimate weapons that can make things happen. So let's put the pressure. Let's, impose our will here. And I do want to see us establish a run game too. I know Scott, he may not be believing in Antonio Gibson because of the fumbles and whatnot, but we have to help Carson Wentz out with a running game. Big key, offensive line, man. They just got straight up bullied last week. They did. Aiden Hutchinson dominated. They got some good guys with Philly, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, Josh Sweat. He's a good pass rusher as well. They got to stand up and be stout against these guys. Their manhood got questioned last week against Aiden Hutchinson, and they were just dominated. Everybody, Trey Turner, Cosme at times, Leno. In the first half, they were just dominated. That safety on Leno was against Leno by Aiden Hutchinson, but Leno played a lot better in the second half. But from the get-go, the offensive line, they got to dominate, man. They really do. They got to step up and dominate. Jonathan Gannon, he's an iffy defensive coordinator. He does like to play his corners back, just like Jack Del Rio does. He likes to give a lot of cushion, too, so take advantage of that with some quick hitters. Get the ball out quick against their pass rush, against Hassan Reddick. He's a good pass rusher as well. Give Carson some easy plays and get some yak with Curtis and Jahan. And Terry too. They're guys that can get a slant and take the ball upfield. And Terry owns James Bradbury. He owns Darius Slay too. So take advantage of that. Joey Sly's got to make his kicks. That's an offensive key too. Extra points. Ron Rivera decision making too. That's a huge key for me as well. Ron Rivera, 2-point conversions, 4th downs. I want him to be aggressive on 4th downs. I really do. I want him to be aggressive. If we're on our own 49 and it's 4th and 2, I'm going for it. I really am. I'm being aggressive this game. And you can blame it on me. If Ron does it and is not successful, you can come back to this video and blame it on me. It is what it is. I don't care. But the 2-point conversion, you got to be smart in that, Ron. You really do. You have to know mental, common sense football. I don't care about analytics, but common sense football. If it comes to that situation, just take the points. Just take the field goal. Take the field goal. Take the extra point. Just take that. No silly 2-point conversion, stuff like that. Like that Giants game 2 years ago as well. Touchdowns, no field goals. That's obvious. Be aggressive on 4th down. Talked about that. Establish a run game. Make it easier on Carson Wentz. You got to block for him. Offensive line was just really bad last week. Get the ball out quick. Use Antonio Gibson in the passing game. And then I want another receiver to step up other than the big three. De'Ami Brown was called out by Amon-Ra St. Brown. Cam Sims, I haven't seen much from him yet. I want to see some of the other guys get involved. I want to see them get targeted too as well. And I think we got more weapons than just the big three. That's the thing. I think Cam Sims can make an impact. I do think De'Ami Brown can make an impact too. Dax Milne's got to step it up in the return game too. If you don't think you can get it back to the 15 or to the 20 or 23, just take the knee. I'm fine with that. But yeah, I don't think they can really stop our offense. The problem is the defense. Okay, so got to bring pressure with Jamin Davis, man. I like him as a blitzer. You know, they talked about him in the press conference with Jack Del Rio. He played it off. He laughed it off, and he said that him and Jack laughed about it. I'm not 100% believing in that. It clearly was directed to the coaches. It is what it is on that. But Jamin Davis has been a really, really good blitzer, and I want to see him. I want to see them send him on a blitz on Jalen Hurts, and I think he's a guy that has the speed to keep up and get back there on Jalen Hurts and just be disruptive. Definitely right down on the ball, man. Jalen Hurts, man, he holds the ball like a basketball sometimes. He will fumble the ball. He has worked on that, but he's a guy that can definitely turn the ball over for sure. 3rd down defense is always, I think our 3rd down defense has definitely been better through 2 games. You got to limit big plays. I would bracket A.J. Brown, be physical with Devontae Smith, and you just can't let anything over the top. Limit big plays. There's going to be some explosive plays, but you got to do your best to limit big plays. Put a spy on Jalen Hurts. Use Cam Curl as that. Use Derek Forrest as that. Some guys with some speed that can keep an eye on Jalen Hurts. Of course, rush discipline. Got to stay disciplined. We got faked out on that reverse by Amon-Ra St. Brown. Be ready for that. Guys like Quez Watkins, they can do stuff like that. RPOs, a lot of that stuff too. We got to target their linebackers in coverage for sure. I like our matches with Logan Thomas as well. I talked about that on the offense side of the ball. So got to get pressure, man. Jack DeRue, he's got to switch up these coverages. We got a guy in Cam Curl. So now they can give that 3 safety look out there and switch up the coverages against this Eagles offense and Jalen Hurts. Got to get pressure on him. We can't just sit back and be reactive. We're going to have to make something happen against Jalen Hurts and keep him in the pocket, man. Make him beat you on 3rd downs. We got to get him in 3rd and long situations. 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10 for sure. If it's 3rd and 2, it's just too easy for these guys. Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott, they have a legitimate trio of running backs. So they just, on paper, they're just a darn good team. I'm not going to lie to you. They just are. They're a really good team on paper. They got some good players. They do. They're a talented team. Nick Sirianni, a second-year coach, Jonathan Gannon, an iffy defensive coordinator. They just have a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. They're a good team. I tip my cap to them. So, final prediction here. I have us losing 28-20 because I just don't believe in Jack Del Rio. I just don't. I don't believe in him. We just haven't been able to stop the run at all. I do think we can I think if we do believe in a run, I think we can run the ball on Philly. But if not, I feel like we can move the ball on them. I think we're going to put up some points. I got us losing 28-20, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 30-27 or something like that. I think it's going to be a fun game. Can't turn over the ball. Obviously going to win the turnover battle. No slow developing plays in our own end zone. If we get, like the Lions game, we got to force a turnover on Jalen Hurts. We got to catch the interceptions. We drop way too many interceptions all the time. So Bobby McCain's got to be ready for that. Same thing with Kendall Fuller, William Jackson, Ben St. Juice. They got to step up. The corners got to step up. They got to have big games. And I'm not confident in those guys. I'm just not confident in Jack Del Rio at all at this point. They have shown nothing to give us any kind of confidence going into this game. The Jacksonville game, we won because of our offense. And the Lions game, we were in that game because of our offense as well. So, It's going to have to be on Carson Wentz, which is not the best formula in the world, but he's going to have to win this game for us to have his chance. For us to have a chance, he's going to have a heck of a game. Like 3 touchdowns, no picks, 340 yards, that kind of game, which he's capable of doing with our receivers too. But the guys losing 28-20. I think it's going to be a close game all the way. It's going to be like 21-20 at one point, and then the Eagles are just going to score a touchdown. They're going to put the game away because we just can't get stops. And that's what's going to happen. So, but all right, you guys let me know what you guys think. I hate to see us lose. I hate to say they're going to lose, but hey, it is what it is. Hopefully we can bounce back. And I do want this crowd to be loud, man. I know it's going to be crazy because the Eagles, their fans, they got all these buses and whatnot, but definitely got to step in there and have some pride. All right, you guys, Hail to Commanders. Peace.